So will BYU lose to Cincinnati? And will Utah struggle with Kansas State? I have the answers and the best bets for you in this conference. This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome into Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day, live from the set of college football kickoff with Amazon Fire TV. Find it on your Fire TV devices every single Thursday. We will talk about the best bets in the Big 12 this week. Loaded slate across the conference. If you hit subscribe, I get to keep my job. All a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the #1 sports podcast network in the world. Bet number one should not surprise you. Two teams moving in opposite directions. One team that has certainly impressed this season and the other that has not. I am taking Arizona at home, -6.5 against the Baylor Bears. And you know what? I'm not apologizing to anybody about it. I think, look, this Arizona team, again, is moving in a direction that is different than Baylor. And at some level, I will give you metrics on each of these teams. I will give you metrics on why I think that these results will happen. But between you and me, if I can tell you a secret really quickly, at some point in the year, you start to throw out the metrics a little bit. Like, I think that this is an example of why I think that Utah would beat Notre Dame. Like, oh, it's a hypothetical. Yep. We love in the SEC to say that Alabama would crush BYU and it wouldn't even be a competition. I think in this conference, if we look at the games that we've seen from a school like Utah, from a BYU, from a Texas Tech, they can hang with some of the best in the entire country. And I believe firmly that Utah could put up with squarely put up with a team like Notre Dame, with a team like Oregon. For Baylor, they're 1-3 in their last 4. For Arizona, they're 3-0 in their last 3. They're mowing through opponents. They beat Cincinnati on the road. Tough Cincinnati team. 4-point win against Kansas. At Colorado, 52-17. So before I even look at analytics of this game, I've already got a hunch that, honestly, Arizona's just the hotter football team, and that gives me a lot of confidence. Arizona, number 5 in the country, throwing the football. Baylor, number 5, I should say, against the pass. Baylor, number 29, throwing the football. Baylor has been worse and worse and worse doing so. I think Arizona wins this game by 7 points or more. I think this is a 38-28 final. Arizona wins it. Best bet number 2 for this week. The Iowa State Cyclones, they're playing at home and against Kansas. I think Iowa State wins this game, and I don't care who knows it. Another conversation of momentum. Another conversation where you're like, okay, well, is Kansas the better football team? Maybe as of a few weeks ago, but now this is today. This is here. Like analytically, Iowa State's defense has been bad against the pass, and Kansas has been pretty good throwing the football. Iowa State very good against the rush. Kansas, decent running the football. Offensively, Iowa State really bad throwing, really good running, and Kansas defense has been bad all across the board. But if we look at momentum, if we look at the areas in which I feel like Kansas and Iowa State differ, it's that category of what have you done for me lately? For Kansas, buddy, 1-3 in their last 4. And that loss was to their win, I should say, was to Oklahoma State by 17. Wasn't impressive, wasn't sexy. Iowa State, they were getting drilled week in and week out because they were so banged up. Then went on the road and beat TCU. Got a bye week to get healthy. They're 6-4. They're going bowling. I think Iowa State has more momentum. It's close for sure, but at 27-20, 27-21, I think Iowa State's going to cover 4.5. Houston, I got the -1.5 against TCU. It is revisionist history to say that Houston is a bad football team. How quickly we forgot the Houston Cougars are actually really good at the football thing. ESPN gives TCU a 53.2% chance to win this game. Why? Because ESPN doesn't know what it's talking about. Connor Wegman, his stats aren't that far off from Josh Hoover's. Fewer interceptions as well. The Houston run game has been solid this season. And again, TCU has dropped their last 2, 44-13, hapless performance at BYU. They're on the road again. No chance. No time to regroup. Houston has won, 8 of their last 10. They're 8-2 this season. 30-27 on the road. Gutsy win. Got a bye week to get healthy. Houston will win this game. Their only bad loss this year was West Virginia. TCU's had a couple of bad losses, including Kansas State. So again, you can point and laugh and say, oh, this guy's not using any metrics, any stats. He's not using any logic. Boss, at some point in the season, you throw the logic out the window and you just say, what have you done for me lately? And Houston defensively has been consistent. TCU offensively has not. Number 124 in the country running the football. Houston offensively isn't great. Their rushing game isn't good. Their passing game is their best piece, Connor Wigman's passing game, which is weird. I mean, I feel like their numbers have been fine, but their EPA is not good. Well, that's where TCU has the 87th ranked pass defense in the country. That's not good at all. Give me Houston. Utah, Kansas State. How many times do I have to say it? Two teams going in the opposite direction, and this is where I think momentum's a huge factor. ESPN gives Utah an 88% chance of victory in this game. Tough year for K-State. They haven't been near as good as anybody expected them to be, and I don't think that's going to change this week. And Utah is on this crash course to win. They're on a crash course to win and win big week in and week out. They're playing a Kansas State team that is, won 3 of 4, but 14-6 against Oklahoma State, 43-20 the way they fell apart against Texas Tech. They were bad last week in Stillwater, and Utah has to win games by a lot of points. Their last 3 games, have been won by 3 touchdowns worth of points or more. 53-7, 45-14, 55-28. They're going to do the exact same thing here. They have to do the exact same thing here because they want to continue to dominate you. 27-point win against Baylor proves they'll do the exact same thing, but at home against Kansas State. It's comparable right now to Baylor. Then I asked the question. I said, will BYU be upset by Cincinnati? And the answer is an emphatic no. I trust, for the first time since they got to the Big 12, I trust this BYU team. Coming off of that Texas Tech loss, their ability to respond was super, super impressive. Cincinnati, on the other hand, when push came to shove and everybody said, all right, Cincinnati, you could buck up right here and become the team that we all point at and say, wow, they found a way in the end to be college football playoff caliber, Big 12 championship caliber. You fell apart. The last couple of weeks, you've fallen apart. Lost a home game to Arizona, which I didn't think you were going to do. BYU offensively, metrics are good. I talked about what have you done for me lately? BYU wins in that category. Metrics, they win in that category. Number 35 most efficient rushing game in the country. Number 44 most efficient passing game. Cincinnati, 96 against the pass, 102nd against the rush. Those aren't good. Defensively, BYU number 25 against the pass, number 75 against the rush. Cincinnati will run the ball pretty well. But it doesn't mean they're going to win the game. BYU 31-21. BYU 34-24. 10-point victory for the Cougs. They need to win this game by as many points as possible for the College Football Playoff Committee to look at them and say, you know what? You are good after all. We'll let you in. Those are the best bets. Parlay them together if you want. I bought a hook on Utah, by the way. They're 17.5-point favorites at the time of recording. I bought it 17. So I got Arizona minus 6.5 against Baylor. Iowa State minus 4.5 against Kansas. Houston minus 1.5 against TCU. It's Utah minus 17 versus Kansas State. BYU at Cincinnati minus 2.5. Those are your best bets this week. And you can place all those bets on FanDuel. FanDuel is exactly where I go. College football season, NFL season, any of the seasons, FanDuel is the spot to be. I kid you not. The NBA is back. No better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. Even if you missed the start of the game, you want to ride the hot hand. FanDuel has live bets on everything from who will score next to fourth quarter comebacks. Plus, you can even combine your live bets in the same game parlays for a shot at bigger payouts. It keeps every game exciting. Right now, FanDuel giving new customers $300 in bonus bets on your first $5 bet wins. Head to FanDuel.com. Sign up, play your game with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. It's FanDuel. Go to FanDuel. Do it. I dare you. Please. FanDuel. There it is. Those are the best bets. Let's win money together, please. This has been, it always will be, Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.